Rise of the Guardians in 3D. I was lucky enough to see this in the theaters when it came out. Sometimes I think back to when I go to see a movie, and I can remember seeing the movie, but I can't really remember anything about the day I went to see the movie. I don't remember going to the theater or even what theater it was or anything else about the day. I just remember that I saw the movie. I read that it was released in late November, so it must have been advertised as a Christmas movie. This has the look and feel of a Christmas movie, although technically it takes place at Easter time. The visuals, though, are mostly snow, ice, sleighs, and, of course, Santa. Now, 2012 is still the early days of 3D, and some wonky stuff was being released at that time, but this is a visual treat. The landscapes are large and expansive. There's minute detail on every aspect of this film. There are about 6 major characters, and each of them have their look, feel, and large-scale world attached to them. Ignoring the 3D, this movie is itself a grand spectacle. It would have been heartbreaking if the stereo didn't live up to the work of the CGI artists. Fortunately, they do a very good job on the stereo. Actually, that's an understatement. This is top-tier stuff. 3D cartoons don't really get much better than this. The ice we see is deeply reflective. You can look into the ice and seeing it reflect back at you. Not only is it realistic, but in a fantasy movie, it's important to give it that world beyond feel. We also get similar deep reflections in windows, and at least one moment, I felt it's emphasized Jack's ghostly and lonely relationship with the world. What might capture the most attention is the use of sparkly stuff. This movie seems to take every opportunity to put some kind of floaty stuff in the air, which is appreciated. We have one character who is made of gold and dust that contrasts nicely against the dark blue night. Really, it would pop out even without the aid of 3D. Of course, we get snow lightly falling in many scenes, but also more advanced matters like an army of tooth fairies with flapping wings. And those wings deserve a special mention. The hummingbird flapping, creating almost a halo in the shape of wings. It looks very real, very transparent. And sometimes when you see something with a flickery quality in stereo, it will distort what you see behind it. Here, I'm guessing they did the 3D work in composite layers which preserve the integrity of the background, because so far as I can tell, it's a flawless illusion. We also get a few shots of looking at small things where the stereo looks especially large, like we really are close to the object. It loosely adjusts the stereo to what would be experienced in real life. No, it's not perfect. The stereo tends to favor the foreground, and they do use flat mats in many places. But the cheats work. Unless you're pausing or combing through the movie like a crazy person doing online YouTube reviews, the imperfections fly by unnoticed. And here, I especially like the Easter bunny as an aggressive Australian, which isn't too different from a real bunny. Rabbits can get pretty damn grumpy. And rabbits don't actually care for root vegetables like carrots, preferring leafy greens above all else. Though I once had a rabbit that would kill for a cherry nib candy, he'd do it too. Never turn your back on a bunny. The association of carrots to bunnies started with Clark Gable, and today that actor is only remembered for Gone with the Wind, but before he was known for playing a wise-cracking smartass who walked around chewing on a carrot. Bugs Bunny was a satire of Clark Gable. Clark faded, but Bugs became timeless to the constant dismay of rabbits everywhere. In a way, that ties into this movie. Story-wise, I guess Rise of the Guardians was meant as a satire of The Avengers, which came out the same year. Though like Bugs Bunny, I think the movie is so good that the connection is already lost to history. There's no sequel yet, but there has been a book series based on the Jack Frost character that sold very well, and, well, someday they might adapt that book series. From a stereo perspective, though, I think this is an absolute must-see.